The ever-escalating racism has been a debatable topic in the American tabloids for a few years now. While one race tries to beat another to emerge as superior, it's mostly the minority black population which finds itself at the end of the inferior scale. Here the real question arises, is it really the case? Were black people only meant for slavery and treated differently? You will be surprised to know that it wasn't the case when our ancestors lived. In this video, we're going to find out why exactly the non-black population, more specifically the whites, discard the blacks. We will shed light on ever-longing perceptions, stereotypes, and biases that have been prevailing in the society since time remembers. Let's begin. A lot of you might not know this, but the black Africans were once considered as the richest of the richest during early civilizations. These guys contributed tremendously in every field you name, be it science, technology, language, literature, or establishing early human civilization. Not just that, even morphologically, black Africans are considered one of the strongest people. If we go way back in time, these wealthy black Africans made their neighbors super jealous while casually residing in gold-laden cities. The other insecure races saw the blacks as a threat, more than as a competition. Well, there was already a lot on the non-black people's plate to be defeated by the race in question, be it black Africans' immense physical strength, their historical contributions, or genetic superiority. These were enough for the perpetuation of a stereotype to the younger generations. These negative installations in almost every professional field limited the potential of black people to a great extent. So what was left? Nothing but a stereotypical negative impact that black people were inferior to non-black ones. These tiny installations waged a century-old war which is still prevailing, even in highly developed countries like America. More or less, the answer to the prevailing racism lies in the complex history of the world, more definitely the role which black Africans have played in it. The Negroes must take some credit for being the pioneer of modern civilization, and for their contribution in spirituality, mathematics, architecture, metaphysics, and philosophy as well. To name a few reasons: genetic annihilation. As proven by science, black African genes are more dominant than non-black ones. Well, it was obvious to curate an insecurity in the minds of the rest. It was regarding the abolition of a particular non-black gene, while in a competition with the black ones. This is the reason why black people were forbidden to marry any white partner, as they feared the offspring will actually be more black than white. This would definitely cause an extinction of the white gene, ending up creating mixed races kids and black ones. Physical strength. As most of us already know, black race is the chart topper when it comes to physical strength, agility, and charisma. The non-blacks obviously saw this as a threat and feared that if they were allowed to participate in every matter, then soon the world would be dominated by this particular race. So the European colonists, who mostly viewed themselves as fragile, made a system which excluded the black community away from the steering. Black men and women are mostly reduced to do physical labor, and then the world was manipulated into believing that this particular profession was inferior to sitting in a round table conference. Famous philosophers like Aristotle further perpetuated the same idea by stating that people who serve as slaves are born to be the same. Mostly black people were misutilized for their physical strength and served as slaves. It was also a popular belief that blacks were less sensitive, so the non-blacks would imply severe punishments, assuming that the slaves did not feel any pain. Intelligence. When black men were mostly reduced to work as slaves, black women, on the other hand, were denied basic rights like education, extracurricular, and a chance to publish their articles. History has witnessed that when no other race prevailed, the black Africans were always the predecessors to human civilizations, literature, fossil discoveries, and many more. But the negative inferiority has always denied these facts. Even when slavery ended, black children were not allowed in schools, so they had their separate educational institutions which were either underfunded or lacked basic resources. All this just to prove black Africans are uneducated while they had been denied basic rights all along. This is the reason why Africans had to move out to Asia, Europe, and America to acquire education in the first place. A constant fear of losing against a much dominant race leads to the sidelining and spread of inferiority complexes all around. You will be surprised to know the researchers have stated the majority of the population to be either a descendant black African gene or European gene. So even if you are not black, there is a possibility that a few Black African genes could be present inside of you.